Coach, if you can just get us started with some opening thoughts on that game.
Yeah, first and foremost, we have the deepest respect for Bowdoin, their players, their coaching staff. It is really hard to enter this game undefeated. Number one seed, overall seed in the NCAA tournament. They play an incredible strength of schedule. And it's just a credit to Megan and her team to be able to get to this point without a single loss. That's really actually very, very hard to do. And so a lot of respect for them. We've been here before in this environment, and what a privilege to play in a place that supports their community and their women's basketball team with such dedication. And it was really fun for us to have our fans travel up from Smith, make the long trip, and fill the gym. So I think that's another really big testament to both programs and the following of these amazing women who are playing the game for both our teams. We had to focus on transition D. That was a big part of being able to hold them to the point total that we thought we would need to hold them to. Our team executed on that front. They had 4 transition points the whole game. We did some things on ball screens that I thought slowed them down and created different shots for them. Our team really executed offensively, and we got on the boards. And in the first half, boy, did we need those second possessions. It was a really thoughtful game in terms of how our players approached the game plan and the execution from who we needed to focus on from the Bowdoin side. And then we just grinded. It was a game that had some interesting runs from both teams. A lot of missed shots, but a lot of really great defense. And, you win in a lot of variety of ways in the NCAA tournament. And today was definitely a defensive battle. So proud of our team for pulling this one out. And looking forward to tomorrow.
Defensive battle, but the game turns in the third quarter when Hannah gets going. She had no points at halftime, goes 5 of 5 in the third. Talk about just the spark that gave the team. And was there anything that you saw that was different to kind of get her going, or was it just she just got hot and shots started falling?
Yeah, we just had a conversation in the locker room about how we needed to move the ball, get touches to different players, and capitalize on certain matchups we weren't focusing on as much as we should be. And Hannah, I think, between her craft and her speed, she's a lot to handle, and she just did a really great job of taking her opportunities and getting hot for us. And I think it just settled our group that we had another one of our guards really taking ownership of some of the possessions. So that balance really helped us.
And did you feel frustrated in the first half? What were they doing to kind of keep you down, and how did it feel to get rolling and then to know that the team was rolling with you in that third quarter?
Yeah, I was definitely frustrated in the first half. I had a few turnovers, a few missed layups, and I take a lot of pride in leading my team, not only just in playmaking but in scoring. I know that that's something I can bring to the table. So at halftime, the coach had a conversation with me, and it kind of just sparked a fire, and I knew that if we wanted to win, I needed to step up, and I knew that I could. And in the first half, they were playing really great defense. It was hard to go by to the rim. They had a few blocks, so kind of just slowing down a little bit was really important. And then when I knew I had my shot, I just was confident when I took it.
Coach, you went into the locker room pretty late at the half. It was 8 minutes left. Was that a fiery speech?
It's a balance between strategy and figuring out what your team needs from you emotionally, and there's a combination of, you only have so much time to get a few messages across. It can't be flooded with a bunch of info. It's got to be we need to do these 3 things. So it was really strategic in what was the priority we needed to go in there for from a basketball perspective, and then what players did we have to get to, because we're a pretty balanced club. We share the ball well. We have a lot of guard talent. We make through our bigs. So I think the ability for us just to refocus in the second half was really important, and to get some of our other key players to be a little more aggressive.
Coach, on the defensive side, they had 16 points in the paint first half, only 8 in the second half. I know part of it was they had to shoot at the end, but Was that something you talked about too? Is you talked about stopping transition. Was that also something to try to get them to have some tougher looks and not get so many looks around the basket?
Yeah, I mean, Sydney Jones is a handful. I mean, you're trying to take away her best looks. You're not going to take away every look. She's, obviously an All-American and leader of this team, and we watched a lot of film on her, and she can take over a game. It's so. It was a lot about trying to make her more a jump shooter than a driver, and to contest the threes that she was going to get. And I thought we did some different things on ball screens that really helped us. Really tried to focus on forcing her left and utilizing only her left hand, which, she still scored. She's a great player, but we did make things harder for her, and her workload was harder. And when your workload's harder, you're making different decisions with the basketball. It can affect some other parts of your game. So we were hoping that was the case, and points in the paint. A lot of that was our ability to gap too, and just try to keep their perimeter players, from those scoring areas.
Jen, I've watched Smith a bunch of times now, and I always come away so impressed by how hard your guards rebound, despite being undersized, we'll say. Where does that come from? You had 6 tonight, Allie had 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's really our whole team trying to tackle rebounding. It's number 1 on the board every single time. If we want to win a game, we have to rebound. And so a lot of the times it's, Jazzy or Ella boxing out the bigs, and, the guards just come and swoop it up. So, it's not necessarily us, going all out. I really think it's a team effort. We wouldn't get these numbers if other people didn't box out or, So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously something we emphasize, but it's a team thing.
Coach, every time I watched you against Wartburg last year and then NYU and I always look at you in the warm-ups and I go, oh, they're going to get killed on the glass, they're so small. Y'all rebounded them by 11. What am I always missing?
Mm-hmm. Well, our team is disciplined, right? You have habits, and you play with your habits, and you stick to them, and, there's technique to rebounding. It's not just size, right? There's ability to be able to check your player from the perimeter, create space, get angles. Like, these are things we work on to be, to be a team that can compete all the way to hopefully a national championship. Like, the boards are such a critical part of the game. So we spend a lot of time on it, and we're lucky our team buys in, and we do have some speed that helps us, I think, be able to control the glass there. But it's a grit too, it's the mentality of our guard group. And they're good at like tipping it to each other too. There's different things we do to try to help, those old boards. But yeah, we're trying to continue to control the glass. I know tomorrow will be a big challenge on that as well.
So that's interesting. I've noticed that, and I was saying to somebody, you get all the loose balls, but maybe they're loose because you're tipping them out on purpose. That's a strategy.
Well, you can watch a film.
Thank you.
Hannah and Jake, you both weigh in on this, and we'll start with you. This team went to the Final Four 2 years ago, won the championship game last year, and then knocking off an undefeated team today. What does that say about this team's comfort with the big game, the big stage? I mean, it seems like that's really something that opponents have to deal with. This team just knows how to play this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, like Jane's class, every year they've made it to the Sweet 16. Like every year we set a standard at the beginning of the season. We have our banners, and we're at the beginning of the year. We're like, this is what we're fighting for. Every game, it's important, but what we really focus on is the end of the season. We focus on March. So I think we use that experience to our advantage. We know that a lot of the opponents we face don't have this late in March time that we do. So we kind of, when things get a little hard or the games get really loud, we trust that we, at the end of the day, know how to play it this time of year better than anyone else.
I honestly think our team loves the atmosphere. Like, we like it when people are rowdy and chirping at us, and we love it when our fans are like doing chants and stomping on the floor. So like, just thinking back last week, we had Amherst, and that was like the matchup of Western Mass, and all we wanted to do was get to that matchup. And so, I just think experience does help, and we're lucky to have a team that is not afraid of the spotlight.
Okay, great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Cheers.